Hey everybody, this is the second video you should be watching today, and it's a really important video because I'm going to be going over how I set up Canvas and some of the important items that you have and some specifics that are really important for you to be able to find what you need when you're in Canvas and not get lost or confused even today. So if you're not really closely watching this today, you might get lost or confused. You might not understand how to open something. So it's really important that you watch this entire video, that you are watching it with headphones on, that you're not just reading the subtitles, because the subtitles are generated by the computer. They could be wrong. So it's really important that you have headphones on. At the very least, you should be listening to the video with the volume up somewhere that you're not like distracting other people. But hopefully at this point you have headphones and you can listen to this video privately with the volume all the way up, and you can pause at any time. So if you are confused, maybe you realized you'd been daydreaming or you weren't really listening, you can pause and rewind. If you're getting a little fatigued, you can pause, go to the bathroom, come back and finish it. But it is really important that you watch the whole thing and just kind of catch everything I'm saying, because I'm going to outline some important stuff. So let me get started. First thing is just, the overall layout and some of the things you see first when you go into your science modules. So in your modules right now, there's an item at the top that says today's agenda. That's where you're watching this video. That's usually not there. I only put the today's agenda when I'm absent. So you can sort of ignore that. Typically, the science modules looks like this. So you have at the very top, you'll see the drop down for all the targets. And this should usually match that little whiteboard that I have on the blue wall above the sinks in the classroom. If you look over towards that, some of those items are the same as what you see here. Usually the targets on Canvas are the same as the targets on the wall in the classroom. These targets really help you focus on what you are doing that specific day, or what you should be thinking about in the next few classes. And they're usually really small, bite-sized chunks, little things you need to know or skills you need to learn, one little step at a time. And if you track all of them, they'll all add up to the whole unit and everything that you need to know. But they usually should match what's on the wall. So if you're not in Canvas, you can read the wall. If you're in Canvas, you can read them here, and I try to keep them as up to date as possible. So that's just something to help you kind of keep your mind on track. If you're wondering what exactly you're supposed to be learning that day, what exactly are you supposed to be doing? If a parent asks, if you're wondering, you can always show them these specific targets. The next section is what I call a module. And I don't use the word units, I use the word module, and so it matches, your Canvas here. So this module that I have here, if you collapse it, it looks like this, and you open it up, and it's all this long list of assignments, and usually they get very long. A module will keep going, many items, and you can sort of get lost in it. So I want to talk about how I arrange it so that you don't get lost. And this is one of those important things I really want you to catch. I want you to know how to not get lost in a long module with many items. Module 0 is just an example module. It's not really, we're not doing much here. Basically, what you do today, and then we're done. We're not really using this module. It's just for an example so that you kind of get used to what we'll be doing next week. So this module is called Start of the Year, and you open it up, and at the very top of the module list you find a page called the phenomenon, and this will always be the first page in a module task list. You may have noticed something else though. You'll notice that they're all grayed out. So these ones are bold and these ones are gray. And this is another important thing that you need to catch. You can't directly click on any of the gray ones. They're all locked. In order to get to them, you have to do the very last bold one, which is usually the last one you opened. And sometimes you can see it'll say underneath, what exactly do you need to do in order to unlock the next one? So here you've got Module 0 plan, which we'll get to in a second. You have to view it in order to unlock this one. That's the case for most of them. In order to unlock the next one, you have to view it, view it, view it, in order to unlock the following thing. Some of them you'll notice are different though. You have to actually mark them as done. There's a button you'll have to click, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. But just notice that some of them are grayed out and you can't skip to them. This helps you keep track of where you left off. It's another way to help you not get lost. Alright, so just right off the bat, recognize that there are things you'll have to do to open up the levels, and that's one of the number one ways you'll get confused. You'll be wondering, well, why can't I open this, or why isn't this working? It's probably because you didn't do what you needed to do in the previous level. So just keep that in mind. I'll show you that again in a few minutes. But going back to the phenomenon, this page is at the top of every module, and it kind of helps remind you what the whole module is about. So the whole unit is all about that phenomenon. If you remember, a few days ago, I brought this up to you. I told you what a phenomenon was. We talked about it. I gave you some example phenomenons. This should be coming to mind, right? A whole unit could be just about explaining this poor kid on the sled. A whole unit, because there's so much science that goes into every aspect of this. We could talk about friction. We could learn about inertia. We could learn about the laws of motion. Lots of different science components can go into writing a big explanation just about this. And that's what we do every single unit. We get some sort of phenomenon and we try to explain it throughout the whole unit. Our practice unit, Module 0, is all about this. If you remember, I said Module 0 is about this phenomenon. How come some students are successful in science and others are not? And so you're trying to explain that. And so again, just a practice, so you get used to this. So you click here on the first page and you see it's a reminder of what the phenomenon is about, what the whole unit's about, so that you don't get confused. And if you're ever wondering, you can check. Or if a parent is asking, what's the whole unit about, you can always come to the first page of the module and you can show them, and this will help explain it. And then the best way to move forward in your module, and you're going to have to do this on yours, you're going to have to actually click the next button in order to open up and move on to the next level, which in this case is a module plan, a digital copy of it. I'm having a hard time getting this to work from a student view. Hopefully this works for you. I'd love it if somebody emails me and tells me whether or not this is working. On my side, it doesn't seem to want to work. But I am hopeful that it will work for you when you get to it. So let me know. This should be a digital copy of the module plan, the paper I gave you that's in your notebook, the checklist of all the things you need to learn. So in every unit, you'll have a digital copy of that right here. Again, if a parent is asking, what are you learning in science? What are the skills? What are the vocab words you need to know and study? You'll have a list right at the top of the module with all the words that you can access and refer to at any time. Because remember, your notebooks don't come home. So this will be here if you ever want to look at it from home. It should be this document when you look at it. So again, let me know if it's not. Send me an email. All right, next item. So I'm going to go back to the list so we can zoom out again. Again, you can pause and take a break at any time, but I want to go over all this so that you're not confused about Canvas. The next thing, I want to talk about how I lay out the whole thing. It's sort of like a video game, because like I said, the module gets really long. There can be like 20, 25 items going down, scrolling down. It keeps scrolling in a module and you can get lost in it. And I have a little language that I use to help you find your resources quickly, easily, so you don't get lost in the list. And this is that item on the module plan, which a lot of you are like, oh, we didn't talk about this. What is this? Right here it says, I know how Mr. Majestic uses the words module, stage, and level. You're going to check that off now because I'm going to explain it. The module, again, is the whole thing. If you collapse it, all that disappears. This whole box is the module and all the things inside of it. And I break the module up into smaller chunks called stages. So you can see here, there's stage 1. It's everything inside of the red dot. And then there's stage 2. And then everything underneath it belongs to stage 2. And there in modules will be a stage 3 and 4 and 5, sometimes 6. There will be multiple stages. And inside of each stage are multiple levels, just like a video game. Each stage is like its own unit. It's like there's some sort of topic here for stage 1 that you have to conquer before you can move on to the next stage. You have to beat the boss of stage 1 in order to move on to stage 2. It'll all keep going down until you get to the final summative at the end of the module, which will be at the bottom of this list. So the reason I do this is because it makes it really simple. I can say something like, all right, in a warm-up, maybe I'll write, please go to module 0, stage 1, level 1. And you know what I mean. I could say, go to module 0, stage 2, level 3, and you'd be able to find it quickly. Because first you find the module, then you find the stage, the correct stage number, then you find the correct level inside the stage. And it's that simple. And I use this throughout the year. It's something we'll practice, something I'll keep coming back to if you're confused. It's finding the module, finding the stage, and then the level inside the stage. Quick way to navigate or to find your way to an item. And so, actually, I'd like you to practice this. If I were in class right now, we'd be practicing it. So you can try to do it through the video. You can pause for a second and do this, right? Try to open up module 0, stage 1, level 1. Pause the video and you can go back to it. Or you could just wait till the end of this video and do that at the end of the video. But when you go to it, it'll look like this. It's just a fake stage. It's a fake level. It just has, here you found it. Here's where you would find the instructions. And once you have viewed this, it now will open up the next one. You'll notice, okay, if I go back, now this one is open. It's bold. And now I can view that one. But level 3 is not. So I have to continue to go through this. Or I could now do level 2. And again, just a fake level. It says a bunch of the things that you would find here. So it says, in Canvas, you'll find slideshows, Google Docs, articles, videos, lab instructions, extensions, quizzes, project instructions, written assignments, all sorts of things will be in these levels. All right? And you can quickly navigate to the next level just by pressing next. All right. Pause here, because this one's kind of important. When you get to level 3, this is a practice assignment, and you actually have to, in order to see it, you have to actually link, probably, I think you'll have to link your Google. So you'll see something like what you see here. You actually have to take a second to click continue and link your Google assignment, your Google Drive to your Canvas module. So either after this video or pausing right now to go do it, whatever works best. I think maybe doing it after the video is best, to just go through all these levels and do this. you'll have to link this. You'll have to link your Google Drive in level 3, and if you do that correctly, you should see an assignment pop up that you can submit. So you'll have to submit that assignment in order to move forward. It should stop you from moving forward. But either way, link your Google Drive account in level 3, and then you can move on. And just a few other things I'll add on here. Can't get this to move here. Okay. Sorry. So now actually I'm going to go back, and you can see I've now, by clicking next, I've moved on into stage 2 automatically. I viewed this, and then I click next, and it brought me right into level 1 of stage 2. So here's a quick message about GoGuardian. New topic real quick. Still on the tech ideas, but I want to just remind you of something. GoGuardian, for me, the way I set it in my class, it's always on. It's always recording your computer during our class block. So I don't really have to sit there and watch behind my computer to see if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm not really interested in doing that. I don't really need to watch your computers. It's pretty obvious when students are doing what they're supposed to be doing and when they're not. But I do want you to be aware, just to be fair to you, that everything gets recorded in a timeline. So like every click, everything you open, how long you were on YouTube for, what video you were watching while you were on YouTube, what assignment you had open, how long you were in Canvas for, how long you were in a Drive for. The whole timeline of our class gets recorded in like a scrolling timeline. And I just want you to know that because if things happen where I'm wondering why in 50 minutes a student didn't complete an assignment, it's very easy for me to check and see what happened. And if GoGuardian reveals that during 40 minutes you were watching your favorite artist on YouTube for half an hour, or you were I don't know what games you even have access to anymore, but if you're playing some game for, usually I'd say Slope or something, but I don't know if you even can get Slope anymore. If you're playing that for like 20 minutes when you were supposed to be doing an assignment, it's going to be a real easy conversation to have. The proof will be right there in GoGuardian. So just don't put yourself in that situation. I want you to know that it's being recorded. Again, I don't sit there and watch you guys. I don't really care to sit there and check your screens, because it's really obvious if you're with us, if you're not. If you're conquering the material, if you're getting the assignments done, it's obvious. So I'm not really worried about that. But just so you know, to be fair to you, you can read what I wrote here. It kind of explains everything I just said. So just please know that, and it's no big deal. I want to stay positive. Then the last 2 items of our tech day, and I want you to just tune in for this next 2 minutes, and then hopefully that's it. There are 2 more assignments that come up as you click forward in your task list. So you're going to hit the About Me survey, which I'd like you to complete. And this should be, the way I set it up, hopefully it's all working, this should be one of those times where you actually have to click Mark as done when you finish. So big mistake you can make here, I hope you hear this and tell others if they get lost or confused. Once you finish this survey, you have to click Mark as done. If you try to move forward without clicking Mark as done, it's going to block you, and you're going to be like, what is this? Mr. Majestic, I can't move forward. It's not working. It's telling you this is locked because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So you actually have to go back and mark what you just did as done, and then move forward on to the next thing. So I hope you caught that. I hope you didn't tune out before we got there. That'll bring you to level 3, which is another form. So the first form is just to get to know about you, just questions, fun questions, interesting questions about your learning style, things that are important to know about students. That's what that About Me survey really is. And then the second survey is a quiz. It's not really a quiz. It's not graded. But you should be able to get a 100, and I want you to take this quiz until you get a 100. It'll quiz you on all the things that we've talked about, most of the things we talked about the room, about how to leave the room, about what you should be bringing to class. All those kinds of things are here in this quiz, and I just want you to take it, get a 100, and then you're basically done for the day. If you decorated your notebook, watched this video carefully, and then go forward and go through the task list, viewing things, marking things as done, submitting the 2 surveys, and getting yourself to the final level, which is level 4, you're done. That's it, really. You've opened yourself up to free time. There's a list of things you can do for free time in this level. I'd like you to stay well behaved and quiet for your substitute. And as long as you can do that, we're all good. Just you can do anything that's on the list. I'm going to update this list, so don't read this one. Read the one that's actually in level 4. And that's really it. I hope you guys have a good day. I hope it was easy, but I hope you also watched this honestly. You can always go back and rewind. All right, and I'll see you next week. We will hopefully, if everybody completes the full task list and gets everything done they're supposed to today, we'll start the real first day of the first unit, hopefully on Tuesday when I see you next. So look forward to that being Module 1, Day 1 on Tuesday. All right, we'll see you then.